and booze. You are about to embark on a journey, one that often leads to more questions than answers. But fear not, your host, Krista, Aaron, and Brandy have the experience, the perseverance, and yes, even the gifts to pull back the veil and allow us to glimpse the other side. They will share not only their experiences, but will introduce you to world renowned researchers and experiencers to help you find answers in the murky waters of what we call the paranormal. Their bonds with each other reach far beyond friendship, resulting in a pull no punches approach to the many subjects they explore. Their goal? To open eyes, hearts, and even minds to what lies on the other side, and the answers residing there.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
How's everybody doing this evening? How are you doing, Brandy?
I'm doing all right. Just a little wore out, they're doing a lot of overtime at work, but I'm good.
Yeah, I gotcha. I'm doing all right too. I've had a busy day today. I've been running all over the place and my internet. So I get a letter saying that my internet was going to be down for maintenance and for a couple days. Well, I'm on day 2, and then my friend had the same issue, and hers was down for 4. So I am at work, sitting at my work desk doing this. I don't have internet at home. And I tried to hotspot it, with my phone. That wasn't working for me. So I'm like, you know what? The heck with it. I'm just going into work. So here I am.
Well, at least you're here. Yay.
Yeah. Yay. Made it. So it might be like this tomorrow night too, depending if my internet's back or not. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, nobody wants to see just me. No.
Well, I almost didn't. Yeah, it was a long story. But anyway, I made it. We're here and I don't have to use my phone.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah. So we have a pretty interesting show tonight. So what we're going to do is we always take a break at the 52-minute mark. And so up until the 52-minute mark, we're going to talk with Barton about Inhumanoids and how he come to call them Inhumanoids and not cryptids, and just get into his head, see what he's thinking type thing. And then after the break, Brandy and myself and Barton and Letitia and Daryl Denton and other people were all at the LBL this past Saturday, and we had some pretty crazy stuff happen. So we come on to tell you all about it. And so the last half will be all about the LBL and what we experienced. So before I get going and I bring Barton up, I just want to remind everybody on Monday, Texas Front Porch, 6:30 p.m. Central. Tuesday is Van Buren Variety at 7 p.m. Central. 8 p.m. Central is on Tuesday is Beyond BMR. Wednesday is Jason McLean Questions Everything. I have 9 p.m. Central. Thursday is Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob at noon. Thursday night is the show at 8 p.m., Blondes and Booze. And then Friday night, we have Blondes and Booze and the Woo at 8 p.m. Central. So let's just jump right into it. And let's go ahead and bring our buddy Barton up. Hey there.
Hi, ladies.
How are you
tonight?
This is selenite. This is selenite. Somebody asked what this was. It's selenite.
Oh, gotcha.
Charged in my room.
You're bringing in all the good juju tonight.
Yes. I try to keep this one in here. I've got a ton of them, but this one I'm like, we need to just keep charging this room.
Yep, I hear you. So anyway, Barton, let's just, I know just about everybody on here knows who you are. But I do see a couple of paranormal people that are more into the ghost. You want to start off by just kind of telling, how you kind of started this with the Inhumanoids and that good stuff.
Well, I didn't really choose to start this stuff. It kind of chose me when I was 9 years old, and my family moved into a little farmhouse. I'm just the average Kentucky boy, we moved into a farmhouse at river bottoms of Kentucky, western Kentucky coalfield region, and basically spent 11 months being terrorized by big hairy creatures. We later came to know as Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was 1975 when I was 9 years old, and I started researching this stuff in 1985, and talked to a lot of people, got a lot of stories, and basically around my general area in Kentucky. And here I am, written a few books, and here I am 38 years later talking to you ladies.
Yeah. You even
So I'm
have
just an average guy. There's nothing special about me.
Well, you even have an action figure. How cool is that?
Right? That's pretty cool. Yeah.
That is cool. I mean, at least they could, we don't have any blondes Barbies or anything,
Right.
I mean, I could make some. I'd have to go to the store and buy some Barbies. I can cut their hair and braid it and stuff, but
Right.
Right.
That's pretty cool. So you said that these Bigfoot, I know like they terrorized your family for those 11 months. How did they finally leave, or did you move, or how?
No, they never left. We left. They ended up
Gotcha.
running us off of the location there. It was a great location for us kids. The fields were full of arrowheads and fruit trees everywhere, all kinds of fruit trees and wild strawberries. And it was just like a little bitty patch of Eden, other than the fact that there was Inhumanoids, actually two different types of Inhumanoids that inhabited the area at the same time. So, yeah, we were the ones that left. We had no power over these things at all.
Mm-hmm. What types of Inhumanoids were there?
Well, we had the classic Bigfoot type that my family encountered. And in 2005, when I came online, I talked to my dad's best friend back then, and he told me that what he was seeing down there, and he saw several times, had a snout and fangs and claws and long hair. So it was something totally different than the typical Bigfoot description, which really kind of threw me for a loop there.
Yeah.
And I really didn't know, other than my own family's experiences, I didn't really know much about his,
Right.
But then I got to interview him several times and found out that he saw these things stepping in and out of portals, what he called portals, on numerous occasions. And I really got a little bit better understanding of what was really happening to my own family back then. So
Yeah. What kinds of things were happening to your family with these Inhumanoids?
Well, they killed all of our animals, first of all. Animals that we found were all mutilated. They were incised from their necks down to their hind legs. It was mostly dogs that we found, but we had really vicious dogs. But we had a opening in the underpinning of our house right next to the back doorsteps, and whenever these things come around, our own two dogs would run underneath the house, and that would be they came to be our warning sign that the creatures were there. We'd hear the dogs bumping their heads on our floorboard. So, but
Wow.
they didn't eat the entire prey kill that they preyed on, the dogs and things like that. They just cut them open and harvested the soft tissue, the internal organs, the eyes and the tongues, and left the rest. And the carcasses that they left, the strange thing about them was, other than how they were killed, obviously, and mutilated, was no scavenger would land on these bodies, not even flies. So they would just lay there for months and months and months till they finally started to, dry up and decompose. But yeah, they killed like 8 dogs, and all the neighbors' dogs. None of them were ours. They killed our pony. They killed a pig, and they killed our goat, and about 250 chickens.
Wow.
And other strange things happened while we were there. Also, we were coming back from town one day, and I looked up in the sky, and me and my brother, and there was a hole up in the sky. And I always thought it was some kind of vision, but now I've come to realize that it was actually a portal, because we could see through the hole. There was a castle behind there, and it was so clear that I could count the stones used to make that castle. So Another strange thing that happened was skyfall. We had a really bad thunderstorm one night, and we got up the next morning, and all the mud puddles and the roadside ditches were full of tropical fish. Strangely enough, I know it sounds bizarre, but it's true. Mm-hmm. And we would we took all the bows in the house, and I remember my mom being mad because we used all the jars and bows to put fish in. And
wow,
just things like that. Yeah, just all kinds of weird stuff. And I traced the history of that particular house all the way back to 1935, and everyone that I was able to talk to had similar experiences there. So it wasn't just us, it's the location that really played into what was happening. Everybody thinks that I've had so many experiences with the unexplained phenomena that I must be gifted or something like that, but it's not true. I just happen to have been born and raised in a window area, mm-hmm. and and it's that's the reason why things have happened to me, and not anything to do with myself personally.
Sure. Wow. I mean,
I got a question. You were talking about the animals and everything that you would find dead. Now, did it look like they were eaten or just killed and just left?
No. The only marks on them were the surgically precise cuts to extricate their entrails. And there was no other marks on them at all. We couldn't tell how they got killed, other than they were just laying there dead. It was really brought to mind that, back in the 70s, they had a big rash of cattle mutilations in the western part of the United States. And later on, I was able to draw a correlation between, what we was finding in our front yards and our fields out in Spotsville, Kentucky, mm-hmm. to the western cattle mutilations. There's a lot of similarities there.
Right. That's what I was thinking, the cattle mutilations. Real quick here, Crystal J asked, did you know from the beginning that your animals had died from a cryptid, or did you wonder if it was a neighbor?
No, we didn't know. We never saw them, kill an animal. But later on, during the experience, a few months in, we had 5 or 6 people all gathered on a rooftop one night, and they were all armed to the teeth with shotguns and rifles and pistols and all that. And they were there to kill the Spotsville monster. And they were going to wait up there until the thing came out. It usually came out almost every night to do something, to approach our house or look in our windows or some crazy stuff like that. But they're all waiting up there. And some of them didn't even believe what we were saying, I guess. They didn't believe it was a Spotsville monster. And they waited there till about 10, a little after 10 that night, and they were just about ready to give up, and say, well, it's all a bunch of crap. But just then they heard that thing growl just a few yards away in the tree line. And all of them opened fire to where the noise were. And right after they opened fire, they heard a dog yelp, and which was strange. I didn't hear anything else. They finally come down off the roof. They were all scared. So scared they knocked the ladder down, and they were jumping off the roof and falling off. And these are grown men trying to get inside the house. The next morning, we found another dead dog, similarly mutilated. So,
wow,
pretty sure that Spotsville monster was the ones responsible for the animal killings there. But we never actually saw it do it, and it was strange that they were cut so precisely. No predation at all, no ripping or tearing, all very clean cuts.
That's interesting because apex predator, they're killing to eat, and they're going to eat it. So it would be mutilated, but they're not. Yeah,
these things. If you're an 8 to 10 foot tall creature, you would spend all your time eating, because you need so many calories to propel that bulk, And I always thought it was very strange that they only took part of their kills and not all of it. And that's one of the things that led me to down a rabbit hole, that these things aren't flesh and blood. They're not Gigantopithecus blackie descendants and all that stuff. They have a bunch of strange abilities that the normal animals just don't have. And that's the bottom line. You can either accept it or not. I'm just here to tell the truth, and that's the only reason that I'm doing this right now, is to tell people the truth. And you can believe it or not. That's up to you.
Yep, that's how I am too. Like, I've got a lot of people family and stuff in particular, that think I'm crazy, the stuff that I say.
Right.
But you know what, though? I don't even care. I don't even care. And I even said this on BMR's show today, since I've been coming out, and I share stuff on my Facebook. I don't care anymore. And since then I have had friends who have reached out to me and tell me about what happened to them.
Yeah.
Had I not done that, they wouldn't have. So
Right.
it's just I don't care what people think about me. I know, what I see, what I hear, what I feel, and I'm not a liar,
Right.
as you. I 110% believe you. You have no reason, you have nothing to gain from this.
No, I've been doing this publicly for ever since 2005, and the royalties to my books. I had a really good job, and I didn't need any money, so I just donated the royalties to my books, from my books to charity. So I've never tried to make any money off this. My only agenda is to tell people what happened to me and my family, and let them know that these things, they're not what the narrative makes them out to be. They're not flesh and blood apes by any means.
I would agree. We'll touch on that here in a minute, but let's go back to where you stopped calling them cryptids and when you started calling them inhumanoids, and why.
Right. So cryptids by definition are animals. Key word there, natural animals that are rumored to exist but not yet classified. So creatures like Bigfoot and Dogman and Mothman and reptilians and all those, they're not natural animals. There are no natural cryptids that are partly human, first of all. Never has been, never will be. They're animals. So I decided to call them inhumanoids because it's a much more, it's a more specific descriptor of what we have going on here. There's no natural animals out there, true cryptids that can disappear at will, speak telepathically in whatever language that the witness speaks, walk across muddy fields and never leave a footprint. Gigantopithecus couldn't do any of these things, or at least he's never been accused of being able to do any of these things. So we're not dealing with something that's from this earth or from this dimension. Now, whether they're from outer space or interdimensional, that's everybody has their own take on that. But I don't really believe in extraterrestrials from outer space. I believe they're aliens disguised as such for a reason, and which is a very unpopular opinion as well. And all my opinions and all my conclusions are extremely unpopular. So, but still, I'm honor bound to tell the truth, and so that's what I do. And damn the torpedoes, as they say.
Right. Damien said, I have seen cattle mutilations as a kid, like, we are a science experiment. I believe that.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, it's more prolific than a lot of people think, A lot of people think that Bigfoot just appears and disappears and goes on about its business, but the problem with that is we don't know what its business is. Right. And unfortunately, animal mutilations go hand in hand with these things, as well as dogmen sightings and encounters. So these inhumanoids are something entirely different than what science, so-called science, would allow us to believe. Science can believe in only what it can replicate in a laboratory or study. We can't do any of this with inhumanoids. We can't go to their habitat and study them at will, take pictures or anything like that. We can't even find them.
Right.
So with all our technology, which doubles almost daily, it would seem impossible that such huge creatures could roam freely around the country without being seen or killed or captured or something like that. But I don't think we'll ever have to worry about these things being killed or captured, because I think there's something else, really.
Yeah. And honestly, like I said, I was always the flesh and blood girl, but, obviously later in the evening, we'll get into our stories, but, Brandy and I were talking before y'all jumped on here with us, and it's
more than that. It's
Yes.
more than that.
Sure.
And after
Much more.
witnessing it myself, Saturday,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now we've seen it. We've seen it. So it's
Right.
just,
Well,
no.
anyone that looks with unbiased
Mhm.
motivations would quickly see that all these unexplained phenomena, that they have correlations and connections to each other.
Yeah.
Like, I lived in 2 or 3 haunted houses in my life, and each time we were seeing Bigfoot and UFOs outside in the same location as the haunted house. So
Mhm.
I learned at a young age that there was a connectivity between all these unexplained phenomena, and I've had 45 years to really think about it and come to rational conclusions that I think explain everything.
Right.
So I
Right.
know not a lot of other people have had that, and they haven't had that long. But if you look, without blinders on
Mhm.
and without your cognitive dissonance, you can find the answers, and it shouldn't take a couple of years. And I know people that have been doing this for 30 and 40 years, and they have not taken one step forward as far as gaining any real knowledge about the subject. They still think that they're some kind of ape, some
Mhm.
kind of evolutionary throwback or relic hominin or whatever. And it's just that explanation really explains nothing, and it just brings up more questions than it answers. So if
What
you
about
have these things out there, then you're going to have to explain to me how we can't study them in their natural environment, take pictures of them, capture them.
Right.
How do they not die from accident, getting
Mhm.
hit by cars or struck by lightning or drowning in floods? You're going to have
Yeah.
to, there's a lot of explaining to do if you want to take the
Sure.
the aper stance.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but
What about
fortunately for
the
me, I was beyond that. I've been beyond that for a long time, since 1987, when I had my first encounter with cloaked Bigfoot.
Mhm.
So I've had a long time to think about all this. Yeah.
What about the idea of, because I hear people, that tell their encounter, and their encounter they feel was with a flesh and blood type creature. Do you feel like maybe some of them could be, they're encountering those kind, and what we encountered Saturday was on the interdimensional level?
Right. I think all of them could be flesh and blood when they're in this dimension,
Gotcha.
but I think their origin lies in the spiritual dimension and not in the physical one. So
Hmm.
when they're here, of course, they can be physical, and they're physical enough to kill all your animals and knock on the side of your house and turn your doorknobs and leave hair and scat and everything else. But when it comes time to uh, not be seen, then they were captured, and that's what happens. And I
Yeah.
honestly believe that these things want to be seen. That's why
Yeah.
they step out, in front of the car. A
Yeah.
car traveling down a lonely road, country road at night. These things are waiting in the tree line, and they step out in front of the car. But if they're so intelligent, why not just stay there a few seconds more and walk out behind the car, and no one would ever see them? So to me, they want to be seen. They have a reason that they want to be seen, and that's
Yeah.
what's going on.
Wow. Yeah.
And most of the encounters, I'm fully aware, or maybe 90% of them, are just like that, and they show no aspects of being anything other than a big hairy ape. But
Right.
when you get to spend a little time around these things, you quickly come to understand that that's not what's going on.
Right. Right. Exactly. There's a few
Right.
questions I want to get answered here real quick. Let's see. Going back to where your house was, Damien here asked, he wonders if it was on ley lines. Do you know? Have you checked into that?
No. Yeah, there's ley lines running through Western Kentucky, but not in that exact location. No, but it
Okay.
really doesn't matter, because we have the Ohio River and the Green River meeting there, real close to where we lived, and the rivers seem to be a strong attractor of these type of creatures. We have underground mining shafts that are no longer used. And the whole town of Basket is built over mine shafts. So you have Indian burial mounds, just a proliferation of Native American activity in this region. So I
Yeah.
found that three things really come together to attract these things more than anything else. That's caves or underground caverns, water, and cemeteries,
Mm-hmm.
whether they're old Native American cemeteries or newer, white settlers or even modern cemeteries. These things really, really like the cemeteries. So,
Yeah.
and they're very strange, that it's a relic hominid or just a descendant of Gigantopithecus. Why would they want to be around cemeteries? It doesn't make any sense. But these things are all symbolically linked.
Right. Right. Okay. So next one is Amelia Gottfried asked 100%, said 100% believe the story. Just wondering when is something will be done about these things because they are increasing in numbers. How do you feel about that?
I agree with her. We have it seem like a proliferation of all these, the dogman phenomenon, the Bigfoot phenomenon, and just the humanoid phenomenon in general. Everything seems to be ramping up, and it feels like something big is getting ready to happen. It's just a feeling that a lot of people have, and maybe they're right. Maybe this year will be the year that something really happens to show the people the reality of the humanoid subject and not the narrative that they've been fed all along. It's totally wrong, totally incorrect, and just like so many other lies that we've been taught since birth about our world and what lives in it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we're conditioned to believe what the establishment wants us to believe, and we're conditioned to ridicule those who are different and stand out and say things that contradict what we've been taught. So that's where we're at. But hopefully this year, or maybe next year, but one day everyone will know the truth about the Inhumanoids, and they will know that they're not animals, that we just really lucky animals, or we're just too stupid to go out and get one, which is totally ridiculous.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay, another question for you. Gene Hudson asks, so have you seen the forest people do mutilations?
No, we did not actually see them perform the mutilations. No.
Okay.
But they were evidenced by the fact that these creatures were in the same area at the same time as the mutilations. Now, if you can look at that and not want to connect a dot there, then you're a better, stronger person than I am, because that suggests to me, a strong correlation there between the two. So,
I know you have told me about your story when you prayed and you
yes.
hadn't seen one. Can you tell
Right.
everybody about that?
Well, first of all, Chris, I'm a man of faith. Everyone knows who I am and where I stand on that. And so the first 3/4 of my life were plagued by these things. I never let it. I'm not supposed to live in fear, so I never let my experiences stop me from enjoying the outdoors. That's where I'm most at ease.
Right.
I love fishing, hunting, arrowhead hunting, and all that stuff. And I never let it stop me, but I was getting pretty tired of having to deal with these Inhumanoids, and so I prayed to God to ask him to deliver me from, these things dogging my every step, it seemed like, when I was younger. And since I did that in 2007, I've had no problems. I've had no sightings. The people around me have, but it haven't bothered me at all. And that's the way I want it, really. I just want to see one more Inhumanoid and do what I have to do, and then I'll be done.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. Your story is just, I don't know, as a child being 9, you said you were 9 when that happened.
Right.
I mean, to me, that would be like, to me, you're sane, but like for me, I feel like I would have PTSD or, did you have any ongoing, as a child? I mean, something that really, that would affect a child, I would think.
Yeah.
Right. It didn't affect me really at all. I've always believed in God, and ever since I was 12 years old. And so really the main effect that this stuff had on me and my siblings as children were when we talked about it, the ridicule that we faced at school and stuff like that. We get in fights and stuff over it. They're calling you a liar. They're calling your mom and dad liars. And so that's really the only negative repercussion I had as a child, other than the fact that my dad, who was the smartest strongest, toughest man that I've ever met or even read about. He was completely helpless to really deliver us from our problem. And I think that's what led to when we finally fled that place, and we moved to Cardin, Kentucky. And my family only lasted 3 months after that, and my mom and dad got divorced. So I think that was directly related to what happened to us there in Spotsville. And so that's another kind of grudge I hold against these creatures, you know. But I don't mess with Bigfoot. I don't ever try to go look for Bigfoot, and I don't want to see Bigfoot ever again. I do want to see a dog man one time, and hopefully never again after that.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yeah, don't blame me. I just want to see it one time. That's it.
Yeah.
No more. Thanks. Don't follow me home. Don't do nothing.
Right, well,
I just want to see it.
If I see it, Hollywood, it's not going to follow me home because I got a sword in there that I'm going to use on it, and because
Right.
I give my word to some people that I would try to do that to try to help the situation down there in LBL, and you have this thing killing people, and including little children. I just can't. It doesn't sit right with me. You know, in my opinion, there should be 100 people out there at any given moment trying to kill these things and stop another child or another person from ever getting harmed again by these things. But you don't see that. You know, these ex-Marines and ex-cops and all these big, strong guys. You know, they just talk about this stuff, and it amazes me that it never occurs to them to maybe try to do something to help stop what's going on there. So, you know, if I can do that, then I will, and that's my intent.
Mm-hmm. Question though, you know, being on the interdimensional type side, you know, and with your sword, I mean, like ghost, you know, we can't stab a ghost, we can't, you know,
Right.
shoot a ghost. How do you feel like the sword will actually kill one? Or I guess, I mean, really, we don't know. So what do you feel like going into that?
So I'm basing my calculations on the fact that these dogmen creatures in the LBL are government-created chimeras that can actually be killed and have 100% physical bodies all the time. So, and I've talked to some people who have some evidence to back that up, and that's what I'm going on. Obviously, if I'm wrong and these things are supernatural down there and like ghosts or whatever, I won't have any luck. And in fact, they might, you know, even be able to kill me. But I don't think that's going to happen because, you know, I think that if the Lord wanted me to die by the hands of an Inhumanoid, it would have been when I was 9 years old in Spotsville. And somebody needs to do something. So, you know, I'm not the biggest guy or the toughest guy or the strongest guy, but I can swing a sword pretty good. And if one of those dog men happen to come out, I've already been down there 3 or 4 or 5 times trying to do it with no luck. But if one of them ever does come out, then it's going to be something else. I'm not going to run. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, you know, just from like the other night, I feel like they're very intelligent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we were being played 110%, you know, so were you talking about that? I feel like, you know.
It seems like you can't sneak up on them. They know what your intention is, especially the Bigfoot. You know, I know that the Bigfoot are beyond what normal, rational people are willing to accept. But these dog men, I'm pretty confident that at least one type of them, the type that's at the LBL, has been created and put there on purpose for a reason. So
yeah. Letitia, she says, "I'm running. Sorry, babe."
Right. Well, that's fine, honey. You run to the car. I'll take care of the business.
And you know, I don't know. I think you're a brave person going out and doing that, doing what.
Well, thanks, Chris. I think you guys are brave for going in and having some kind of relationship with ghosts and ghostly entities. That's the one thing that scares the crap out of me. You know, after living in a couple of haunted houses, I don't want anything to do with the ghostly aspects and the demonic aspects and all that. I'll just, you know, I'll go the other way. I'll do anything to avoid going into a house that I know there's a ghost inside. Put it that
Yeah.
way. So I think you guys are brave. But thank you for saying that.
Well, I appreciate that too. Going to the LBL was I don't know if that was a brave thing we did or the most
We're just
stupidest thing
stupid.
that we did.
Stupid.
You know?
And I'm just thinking, like, I mean, we go right from just starting out researching, trying to figure out what's what in this whole, inhumanoid thing, and we just go right from the pan to the fire. We don't care.
Right.
Just throw
That
us
is a
in,
pretty
let us
intense
go.
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not for beginners for sure, but
And that
there's a lot of
we are
strange things
beginners.
going on there.
We're
It's not
beginners,
just the
and
dog man aspect of LBL. When you think of LBL, you think of dog man, but there's a lot of Bigfoot activity there, and there's a lot of other inhumanoid activity there.
and there's
The
paranormal
swimming,
activity.
yeah, Martin was telling us about some type of amphibious inhumanoid that was there, and I've had reports of winged humanoids there. So, it's not just one thing there. It's and plus the land is like the entire state of Kentucky is more than likely cursed. The Indians thought it was cursed from all the people that were killed here, the ghosts of the people that died here. But LBL in particular, we have that negativity going on, and on top of what the government came in and took the land from all the decent, hardworking people that lived there, and so you have that bitterness added to all the bitterness and hatred added to all the sadness and grief and tragedy that's already permeates that area. So you basically have one big giant graveyard, and they call it the land between the lakes. So that's why I think so many strange things happen there. You got well over 200 cemeteries still there, and those are the ones that are above the water. Many more are under the water. So.
Yeah, well, I read those articles that Letitia sent today about what was it, Birmingham?
Yeah.
The town of Birmingham is underwater, and
Right.
that cemetery is still underwater, and people are still buried in there. Yeah, it just amazed me. Yeah, the town's called Birmingham. You can look it up. It's oh geez, and I can't tell you what it's the cemetery is located by what they call a little island. They call it Cemetery Island.
Right.
And you can see a tombstone just right up out of the water.
Yeah.
And when the water's high, you've got to be careful out there because they say that you could hit it with a boat or anything out there because you can't see it. Only in the wintertime.
Yeah.
That's correct. And so you have all that negativity, all concentrated into one place. And so no wonder we have so many terrible things happening there. It's really crazy to think about how many people have been attacked or killed there. According to several, people, there's been at least 20 people that's been attacked or killed there. So, including several children. And I just think that's kind of unacceptable to a person like me. And, I think that more people should be out there trying to stop it, no matter what it is. If it's government created problem, then we should tackle it like that. And if it's an esoteric one, then we should have people out there doing whatever they need to do to tackle it on that front. So, whether it's demons or whatever, and I just think that people should be out there doing more to stop it instead of just talking about it and making podcasts and documentaries and this and that and network TV programs and all that. Those are all well and good, but I think people need to really, especially in this day and time, really need to stand up and fight for what's right. We have so many people and so many forces, negative forces that are trying to upend what's right and replace it with wrong and call it good, and it's just not. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah. This is kind of funny. Angela says, I can't believe I had no idea all the time I camped out there. I think my ex was trying to get me gone. I'm with you.
Right. Letitia and I have camped there several times by ourselves. We camped twice on the alleged kill site of where the family was supposedly killed in 1982. And we've been there 4 or 5 more times in the last couple of years. And to be honest, I have not seen or heard anything. And maybe it's because of the sword I'm carrying. I don't know, but everyone else, goes there and has a plethora of unexplained experiences, like you guys. When I was filming Martin, I saw some lights in the camera lens that were kind of anomalous to me, and I didn't know where they came from. That's like the only thing that I've ever seen down there that's been out of the ordinary. And you have so many people saying, well, I'll talk to 50 people down there, and they're all old timers. They never even heard of the beast of LBL. Okay, well, that's well and good. What about the 50 that I talked to that have?
Right.
So the presence of one does not negate the presence of the other. So,
Right.
You can't say, well, and just recently, eBay Bigfoot researcher type posted that he's been down to LBL for several years and has never heard or seen anything. So there are no dogmen at LBL.
Yeah.
Which is really an arrogant attitude to take, and even a little bit reckless, if you ask me. I mean, it's like I was telling you guys, it's like me saying, well, I lived in Florida for 7 months years ago, and I must have swam in that ocean 100 times, and no shark ever attacked me in that ocean. So I don't believe no sharks ever attacked anyone in that ocean. Now, do you see how arrogant that is?
Right.
Not to mention it's a logical fallacy called argument from incredulity. And it's, I hope this guy has 4,000 or 5,000 followers that he's got read that and really took it for what it's worth, which is not much.
Yeah. Yeah. Midwest Night Watchers says that I may have missed it, but why do you think there's so much activity at the LBL?
Right. Yeah, you missed it. We just talked about that. Yeah. So much negativity there. It's just so many people have been killed there. There's rampant inhumanoid activity there and supernatural activity, orbs, as we saw just not too long ago down there. And we was hearing rustling in the leaves and stuff like that, and lights in the sky. And it's just a crazy place because of all the bad stuff that's happened there. In my opinion, that's why it's so bad. You can look at a map of Kentucky and throw a dart at it, and where that dart lands, you can go there and find unexplained phenomena.
Yeah. Real quick, Barton, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to tell Paul Deal, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean
No, that's all right. I was just saying the whole state's like that, but especially the negativity seems to be concentrated in areas like LBL. So
yeah. And Hellbent Holler says you would think with all the talk, the LBL would be packed with people trying to eliminate these things.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So other than Joe and Jesse, there's very few people that have ever done much down there. I know Mark Maycheck, my good friend, many years, he's been down there. He's done a lot. Johnny Henderson, late Johnny Henderson, and I, and Elijah and Gabby, we were down there. Joe and Jesse's been down there. But other than that, it's everything that I see coming from researchers there is more like a draw for attention instead of an honest to goodness, boots on the ground investigation. Lord forbid that they even bring up the idea of staying all night there, So my hat's off to Joe and Jesse and Mark and Elijah and Gabby because they're the real deal to me. And
yes,
and if anybody's going to find anything or do anything of any consequence, it's going to be someone like them.
Right, absolutely. Chad asked, I'm going to ask here real quick, can we see your sword?
Sure. If you want to see it, I can go get it for you.
Yeah. Well, how about when we come back from break, at break time, run and grab it?
There you go.
There we go. Yeah. Excuse me.
I know I just started coughing for no reason too. I was like, wait a minute.
Right. Like Gene says, though, there's dogmen everywhere. It's just not the LBL. And people need to open their eyes to that. The LBL just has, some, a horrific murder that was there that happened in 82. And then, Martin's story, so there's things that have come out of there, and that's what you hear about. But there's dogmen all over. I 100% agree with Gene.
Sure. 100% agree as well. And, it's something that these Inhumanoids seem to be ramping up their activity for whatever reason that may turn out to be. It seems like they're really going strong now. So whatever's getting ready to happen, it's really up for grabs what that's going to be, but it's
Yeah.
probably going to be big, and it's probably going to involve the national parks. Yeah, I do believe.
Yeah, I believe it.
Well,
Definitely believe it.
Hellbent Holler said something earlier about the veil is thinning.
Right.
It is, but I mean, are we seeing more cryptids or inhumanoids or whatever because the veil is thinning, or are we seeing them more, and that's making the veil thin? I mean, which
Yeah.
is it? It's very hard for me to determine which it is.
Yeah.
Right. Either way, the veil is thinning, and these things are
Yes.
being seen more and more. So,
Yes.
I mean, to me, everyone talks about the interdimensional aspect of these things, but there's only two dimensions that I even worry about or consider. And to
Mhm.
me, there's only two that's worth considering that it has anything to do with the human condition, and that's the spiritual dimension and the physical dimension.
Yeah.
All the
Real-
rest are really, it's just a moot point. There could be 100,000 different parallel universes, but they don't affect us here and now. The
Right.
two that affect us right now are the physical bodies that we live in, and the spiritual forces that are fighting invisibly a battle for between good and evil, and that's basically what everything boils down to. And it's totally the most unpopular conclusion you could possibly reach, is that everything that's happening right now is biblical.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, DA commented, and I do know this because I've talked to him about this. He was there for a week last summer, and I believe he was with Nick Valente, if I remember correctly, and they actually seen a dog man, and I believe it was like during daylight there at the LBL. So
Wow, yeah, that's something else. Yeah, there's
Mhm.
a lot of people think that these things are nocturnal creatures,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's what you hear a lot about Bigfoot. It's just not true. You're just as apt to see one in the daytime as you are at night, and
yeah,
they think that they're migratory. Well, that's just an attempt to juxtapose a physical condition that we have on some animals, onto these supernatural creatures, and they're not migratory. The Spotsville monster hasn't went anywhere since 1935, but
hmm
yet you can't go down there and catch it or kill it or even take a picture of it. So
right.
a lot of people's notions about these things are way off base, and I think we should try to take a different tack going forward to get to the bottom of what's really going on and get to some really substantial answers instead of all this endless speculation and chasing your tails around in the dark
Yeah,
and getting nowhere. You get nowhere by doing that. So
right.
hopefully things are changing. It seems like more people are opening up to the fact, not the belief, that Inhumanoids are some type of supernatural
hmm
uh, entity. So other than what I think the government has made, and they come out last year and tried to pass a bill, about the chimera,
Yeah,
limiting the amount of chimeras that they could experiment with, and the bill was shot down, I believe, and so there's no limit to what they can do. And just for them to come out and say that last year tells me that they've been doing it for 50 to 70 years.
yeah,
So to me, I'm almost positive they've been doing it ever since the end of World War II, when we had Operation Paperclip. We brought 1,600 Nazi scientists over here and set them right up in our society and with
hmm
jobs, and we let them continue their experiments here. So it's really not that far of a stretch to think that these things have something to do with the way the government is genetically experimenting with different types of animals and human genes
yeah,
and DNA. So
right, right.
hopefully that's what's going on at LBL. And if I touch it with one of my swords, it's going to be having a very bad day. So
Mhm.
we'll see. And I realize that I'm 56 years old now, and I can't be doing this forever. So there's going
Right.
to come a time when I'm physically unable to do this, and when that time comes, then I'll have to stop and say, well, I tried to keep my word, but I couldn't do it. So.
Right, right. We have 2 minutes before we have to take a break. Do you want to tell everybody where they can find you and like your books and all that good stuff?
Sure, you can find my books on Amazon.com. I have a Facebook group. Inhumanoids with Barton Nunnelly, and also a YouTube channel, Inhumanoids with Barton Nunnelly. You guys come check it out, join and subscribe, and if you like the content, stick around, because I do think that I have a lot of exciting things coming up in the next few weeks.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, even DA's promoting you. He said Bart's
Oh,
books
thanks,
are
DA.
awesome. Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, so when we come back, we are going to get more in depth and tell about what happened to us all Saturday night. We'll just give you a little bit here, but there was 11 or 12 of us. I don't even remember how many of us that was there.
10 of us.
Yeah,
10.
and several want to remain anonymous, and we honor that for sure. But when we come back from break, we will talk about this, because I got to tell you, I mean, I've seen things I can't explain, and Brandy, I know you and I have talked about this, and we
Yeah.
can't explain it.
Yeah, and
So-
I've seen a lot of things, but I've not seen this.
Yeah. So if you guys stick around 5 minutes, we're going to take a 5-minute break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about the rest of it's just going to be about the LBL on Saturday. So we'll be right back, guys. 5 minutes.
Four minutes to go, folks. 4 minutes. Three minutes. We're almost there. Two-minute warning, guys. 2-minute warning. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Hey guys, we're back. Appreciate everybody staying with us. And for this round, we have Barton still, and then Letitia is she had some weird things happen too that we all seen, and then Daryl Denton, whenever he can get logged on, he'll be on. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up Barton and Letitia. Hey, Letitia.
Hey, how is everybody?
Doing all right.
Hey, Brandy.
Hi there.
I'm sorry.
Hollywood, Brandy.
Yep.
Hollywood. Well, during the break, I was scrounging around, and I brought up the book so you all can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks,
Get out
Brandy.
there and get the book.
Appreciate that.
Look,
Yep.
nice book.
Right.
I know. I like it. Thank you.
I haven't started reading my book yet. So I do have it. I just haven't started reading it yet. Just haven't had time. It's been a busy week for me.
All I've been doing is sleeping and working since I got back. That's all. Trying to recover.
Right. Did you guys get any ticks on you like we did?
No, I did not have any ticks.
Yeah,
I did not have any that I could find. You know, I was telling Letitia I could only bend so far with the mirror, and I didn't see any.
Yeah.
Hey, Bart, Letitia.
Hey, Daryl, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how are you?
Good to see you again.
You
How
too.
are you?
Yeah, good to see y'all.
Yep, good to see you.
My son had baseball, and I just got back for baseball practice with him, so I was running late.
That's all right. You're on time now. You're on time now. So let's just start from the beginning when we pulled up to the LBL. So what time we get there, guys? What, about noonish or so?
I believe it was, yes, around noon.
Right.
And then Brandy and I were driving together in her car, and it was kind of weird because at the same time our eyes started watering, which was weird because like Ghost doesn't do that to me, and it doesn't do that to her. So we thought, wow, this is kind of weird, and they wouldn't stop.
Now this you have to understand. We turned into the LBL, and we were only in the LBL probably a tenth of a mile, maybe. And both of us, our eyes started watering. Mine started burning real bad, and I'm like, oh gosh. So I'm slowing down while I'm driving. I'm like, I can't see. And she's like, my eyes are watering too. So that was a flag for us. That was like, wait a minute, something is not right. Because we both had the same type of reaction when we drove in.
Yeah.
I remember, Brandy, didn't you get a really bad headache when we first got to
I did. Even, just driving in and where we got parked, by the time we got parked, I had a headache so bad, and I was like, oh, I can't believe what was going on at that point. For me, that would signal something paranormal for me. Yeah. The headache is something very paranormal for me. So that was weird from the get-go. As soon as I turned in, I'm like, oh no, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've actually had nosebleeds before when I pulled into the park.
Wow.
I can believe it. With the headache I got, I can believe that.
The last time I was with Martin there last year, I got a nosebleed as soon as we pulled in, and that's the third consecutive time I've got that. And I didn't have them any other time, just when we pulled in there.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. somebody asked if Aaron was with us. Unfortunately, Aaron was not there. The Inhumanoid side of it is not really her thing. So she was not there. And yeah, anyway.
We
And
missed her though.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
yeah, we did. She was missed. DA says the LBL is a different world. You can feel it the second you enter it. And I mean, seriously, like,
Yes, I did. Yes,
yeah,
I
we did. We did. So
You-
when we
you-
got there, we went and we parked in a spot, and Letitia and Brandy and myself, we walked down to the water, and it was nice there. I mean, it's a beautiful place to go visit. So I see why people, it's like a tourist thing. People want to go camping and boating, and
Yeah, it's beautiful. Even in the wintertime, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, while y'all are out there, me and Barton were gathering wood and collecting ticks. So
Yep. Yep.
And the bad thing was that there was hardly any wood that was left there. You know, other campers must have got it before we got there. Because the one thing really was left was some old, dead, wet logs, you know. And
yeah.
it's really hard to get those things to burn unless you have a really good fire going first. So.
Yeah.
But we did it, you know. Daryl and I did it. Ticks in there.
We had a good time. We had a great time.
We did. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then once the sun went down, it really got weird. So it was weird before, but the whole, like, the energy of the whole place just changed. And I mean, it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, just getting dark, and we're seeing things. I mean, it was like, yeah. So I feel like, that whole day I felt like being watched, but it just waited until it got dark to start acting up, I guess, per se.
Well, from my experience at the LBL, the weirdest time, that was strange too. I agree with you. It's always like that. But the strangest time is between 12 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And so when I've been there, it gets even worse. So,
well, I honestly don't know how it could have got any worse, because it was active all evening. So we were sitting around the fire and we started seeing like these shadows. I guess you would call them shadows, peeking from behind trees, which was weird. We seen one, and then I seen another one peek out of another tree, and then that's when Brandy freaked out.
I did. I'm sitting there and there is like a little valley, and then it goes up on a ridge on the other side. So, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and we're watching these shadows do their thing. The next thing you know, I seen eye shine, and it was orangey red kind of eye shine. I can't explain it. I don't know of any animal that puts off reddish orange eye shine like that. I've been a hunter all my life. I've never seen it. I don't know how to explain it. And it was offset a little farther. It couldn't have been human. It's not any animal that I'm aware of. And I saw it, and then I'm like, what is that? I jump up out of my chair, about knock my chair over. I'm trying to grab a flashlight, a telephone, anything to take a picture. And of course I couldn't get nothing. I couldn't get my hands to work. I was just standing there. And I mean, I can't explain. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. And the thing was, I believe the rest of you guys were seeing the shadows too, weren't you?
Yes. Somebody said if we wanted our own story to walk up the ridge, because there was a story in the tree line. So Gabby Henderson and I walked up the hill. We never did see anything, but it was pretty spooky, and I got a video of it, but I never did see anything at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember you asked Brandy and I if we wanted to walk, and we're like, oh, hell no. We're good right here. We're good.
Right here.
We're good. Thank you.
I had to go check it out.
Maybe next time.
I don't think it was too far after you seen the eye shine that we seen the kind of reddish orange orb go by. And then also I seen kind of like a streak of one. Looked kind of like almost like a spear. I was trying to find it on Brandy's phone because I didn't make any photos or anything. My phone was about dead, but I don't know how many orbs that we actually seen. I think Letitia thought she seen a white one on the other side of her car.
Mm-hmm.
I did. It was by War Criminal 7 had parked a little bit down the hill, and there were people camped way down at the lake, and we was up on the hill, and they were, or somebody or something, the lights were coming up the hill, and I first thought, well, maybe it's somebody coming up the hill with a flashlight. But it wasn't a flashlight. I got Bart's attention. We went over and we looked all around with flashlights. There was nobody there, but it was a white light, and it was coming directly up the hill beside War Criminal's vehicle.
And
So
see, I saw
his name is Matt. I think I've talked
it
to
is.
him.
Yeah.
And he and I walked up to him a little later in that same time frame, right before Barton started doing the recording, and I could hear this hum, and I asked him, I said, do you hear anything over in the woods? And he goes, a humming sound? And I said, yeah. I said, I've been hearing it for over an hour. I don't know if everybody else heard the hum or not, but it was like a real shrill hum, but it was lower than a regular hum, like someone doing it. It's very strange how to explain it, but I heard that on and off the entire night, and it was over to the left.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that, but Barton and I heard a whistle.
I heard a whistle myself. Yeah.
And it wasn't from the people camping. It wasn't down that way at all. It was above us.
Yeah.
There's no way it came from them.
Right. I'm surprised everybody didn't hear that, Brandy, because, my hearing's not all that great anyway. I sang for a heavy metal band back in the 80s. And if I could hear it, then surely I figure everybody else could hear it too. But
it had to be pretty strong. We were all freezing, and Barton had a hoodie on and everything. He still heard it, so it was pretty chilly out there. But
it got cold.
I did hear the whistle though. It was pretty easy to hear that. It sounded like the same area where you seen the eye shine to me. So
it was all coming. That's where we saw the shadows too. The shadows, the eye shine. We saw a couple orbs over there. It was all coming from that area, and it's like you couldn't get over there very easily, because you'd have, like I said, you had to go down in type of a valley type thing, and then go back up a ridge to get to it. So it wasn't easy.
Me and Bart went way over there a pretty good ways down through that valley and stayed over there for a little bit and cut the light out, and I could hear something faintly to the left, but I never seen anything. But I think it was more up on top of the ridge there to the left, a little further out than it sounded. But it's hard to tell in those leaves anyway. Just anything can make a noise, and it sounds like it's coming from a different direction. So very hard to determine where it's coming from.
Yeah, true.
And that's the same area where whenever Martin was telling his story, I was sitting. It was me and Gabby, and I was closest to that area where we were seeing the shadows. Everybody was seeing everything. And I had to get up and move. I tried to get Gabby to go with me, but she wasn't hearing me.
I heard that too.
And it was time to go. Too. I wasn't sitting there with my back to that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's why I'm waving you over. I'm like, come here, come to this side, come here.
Yeah. You could hear something in the woods, like kind of rustling, and then we shined lights out there, and there wasn't anything, but we were all hearing it.
Exactly.
Which was weird. And it was like it was on the ground, because it was like you said, the leaves.
That was actually a pretty large area. It sounded like it was coming behind where you were sitting, and it sounded like it was coming to the left too. And it's real hard to determine the direction when those leaves are moving like that. But it was loud. You could hear it like it was really moving. Something was moving. So
I was moving. That's what was moving me fast. You ain't gonna get me.
Right. Well, and then I seen on the side of your car, Barton and Letitia, and I don't remember if it was War Criminal 7 or Mark that also seen it at the same time I did. It was a reddish orange orb, but it was big. It was like, to me, it was like the size of a beach ball. It was big. And then it kind of zigged and just whoop, gone. So
I didn't get to see all that because my concentration was taken up by filming Marty's interview, and I don't think Mo saw a bunch either because we were doing that. But while we were doing that, I did see a couple of lights. I noticed a couple of lights in the screen that I don't know what they were, So
yeah,
like I say, that's the only thing that all the years I've been going down there, that's the first and only thing that's strange that's ever happened to us.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. We've been camping a lot down there by ourselves and never had anything. We've been to Hotel California and spent a lot of time out there with the Hendersons from Cryptid Studies Institute and just never had any problems. Me and him have been down there several times camping all night by ourselves, walking the trails, never had anything.
Grilling steaks and frying bacon, Just doing
the last 3 or 4 times I've been there, I've had all kinds of experiences. Maybe not anything dramatic like I've seen there in October, but some type of experience, see something or hear something. And
War Criminal 7 says it got activated during Martin's interview.
Yes.
Yeah, it really ramped up.
Yeah, because that's it. We were all seeing and hearing weird things and trying to be quiet, so not talking while you were filming.
Yeah, it's super hard because you're trying to be quiet. There's filming going on, but you're seeing all this stuff happening. And you just want to yell out, "Hey, did you see that?"
Yeah,
you can't. You're just sitting there going,
Martin was perfectly relaxed. He was in good company. He had no time restraints, and he really, I think he really gave the best interview that I've heard him give.
Yeah, he did a great job. He did. I think everything changed for him when he started talking about the Bell Witch. So
we'll get into that here in a minute.
Oh wow.
I told you
we're going to talk about that in a minute
because
because that was a whole nother.
I'm with you, Bart. I'm out on that.
Yeah.
And I've been invited to that cave by Johnny and Elijah and 2 or 3 others through the years, and I'm like, no, I don't have any want to go see the Bell Witch Cave. I've read too much about it. I really don't even want to be in the same county as the Bell Witch Cave, personally.
And after Saturday night, I will not go to the Bell Witch Cave.
Well, because just to let everybody know what happened, we were just sitting around, talking like people do at a campfire, and Martin brought up that particular cave, and we chatted briefly about it and things that went on there and still going on, and lo and behold, not kidding, like a log fell out of the fire and fell on his leg. And so,
yeah.
And I think it broke his toe. Is that what you said?
Hairline fracture on his shin and broke his toe. So, yeah, everything going smoothly until we brought up that cave. And
for the record, that he's the only person that's ever been out doing anything with me that's ever even got a scratch. So Martin's the first one that's been injured.
That's because he was talking about something he shouldn't have been.
Every time I go out with him,
I would be doing something.
Yeah. So that's all we'll say about that. But it was just kind of weird. And, I have never heard that, about talking about it, brings on bad stuff or anything. But I'm not going to lie. I still want to go there.
Yeah, the interview when he was talking, that was fantastic. He had a live audience. He had a live audience. I mean, you can't see that in the video, but we were all there. We were all sitting there listening.
He's just fantastic at telling his encounter. He really is. You never get tired of listening to it. You really don't.
Yeah.
Right. And he's such a good speaker too. He told that whole story and was it was like an hour long. And bless his heart, he didn't even mess up a single time. I didn't have to edit but one spot in there. And it's where my phone ran out. We had to use Letitia's phone.
Yeah.
And so you have the whole interview there unedited, and it was really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
You have a quick question. It says, aren't Hopkinsville and Fort Campbell in the same general region? High strangeness at both places, Glenn asked.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and then someone says that Bell Witch doesn't like being talked about. Well, we figured that out real quick.
Yep.
We found it out. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were. I was actually told when I was a kid not to ever talk about the Bell Witch. I mean, I was told that from
Yeah.
a young kid. Don't mention the Bell Witch, and never say anything bad. So I know we're not getting into that subject, but that's been known a long time around the Tennessee area.
Yeah. Real
Sounds
quick.
like good advice to
Yeah.
me. She has a name, but we don't say her name. I've
Yeah.
never said her name.
Yeah. Real quick, Terry asked, where can we hear that interview? I don't know if you're talking about Martin Groves's interview with Barton. I will send you that link, Terry, if you don't have that. We did not record the other conversation about ghosts or any of that. So it was just,
I think Barton posted it, or Letitia.
We should have.
he did, but if Terry doesn't have it or
So
whatever.
she's talking about the Martin Groves interview. It's on it's on our YouTube channel, Inhumanoids with Barton Nunnelly. Yeah.
I mean, actually, we should have recorded that part.
Well, we
I
didn't
think
know we were
Barton,
just talking.
Yeah,
That
we
was-
didn't know. We didn't know. I mean, but I wish we would have, because that was strange. All right there. He started talking about it and boom, he got hurt.
Yeah, right.
And honestly, that was within probably 3 minutes of talking about it.
Yeah.
You know,
You're absolutely right. I was like, oh my gosh.
yeah.
And I didn't even know. I thought it broke his leg. Honest to God, I thought it broke his leg, because the way he sat there and then he stood up and tried to walk on it. I thought, oh no, he broke it. He broke it.
Yeah.
Here's a hospital visit.
Yeah. So one other thing that I want to talk about, what happened that night at the LBL. We brought some paranormal equipment too, and
Yes.
Brandy has a nanocom, which is it's kind of like a spirit box, and it was made by Katie Stafford, and so we run that a little bit, and what really was kind of interesting, it said several of our names, which it said, I heard it say Tisha, I heard it say my name, and I don't remember who else's name did that say. Brandy, do you remember?
I don't. I think it said your name a couple times.
Yeah.
But
what was the round thing that you were working with, Barton? That little bowl that turned? What is that called?
oh, it's a singing bowl. It's a Tibetan singing bowl, and
That's
I had that humming. I had that humming for quite a bit before it got dark.
Yeah, that thing was pretty neat.
Yeah.
But when
Now,
I
what is
turned
that-
on, when I
what-
turned
what
on the
is it?
spirit box, the first thing that we heard, is it's just running through frequencies, and it's not finding nothing. We're out there in the middle of the LBL. I'm not getting a radio station. I don't even have an antenna plugged into it to get a radio station. So all we're hearing is white noise. Well, first thing that pops up is we hear howdy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like,
Howdy.
what? That's not what you're expecting to hear. As soon as you turn it on, we get howdy. And it was saying things. We were asking questions and things like that. We were asking about Inhumanoids and things like that. We weren't getting specific answers on that. It was not giving that up. But, we were asking about different spirits out there. I mean, we were getting certain answers, but nothing about Inhumanoids. It would not tell us anything about it. Nothing.
Nope.
So, that was strange to me. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And honestly, like, what was really weird is I can always pick up when, like, there's a ghost around me. I didn't pick up on any ghosts, and that was weird. That was weird, because I mean, like, I just know, like, there was something around, but I didn't feel ghost. And so I don't know. It could just, I don't know, because usually I do.
Yeah, the vibration was different. And going back to what Daryl said about the singing bowl, that's why I brought that out, is to put a nice calming vibration into the air and around the camp, just to make it nice and easy. That's just me. For me, it works. And I thought, well, we'll try it out here. I mean, it can't hurt. And boy, after that, it just went kind of crazy.
Yeah.
The sun went down and everything went crazy. I was like, oh, that's not what I meant by the singing bowl, people.
Right. Midwest Night Watchers asked, was it foggy? And no, it was not foggy that night.
No, it was clear as a bell. You could see the stars and everything. It was just clear as a bell. It cold though. Now it was freezing cold out there. We did have to leave a little bit, sorry, a little bit early because the rain was coming in and it was going to hard rain. And then, ice and snow fell. It got real bad that night. So it was freezing out there, but definitely beautiful night. Beautiful night. And it was a beautiful day.
What
Yeah.
about the picture? Did we finally debunk what we thought it was or wasn't?
So what I'm going to do, I sent the picture to several people, and we have a debate going on here between us, and we won't say anything of what some of us believe it is and what some of us believe it is. Two different things. So I'm going to post it on Blonde's page, and I'll get that done tomorrow, and then y'all look at it and see what you all think. We'll leave it up to you guys to see what you all think that it might be.
All I'm saying is this.
Me and Brandy have agreed to disagree.
All I'm saying is this, is I took 3 pictures consecutively.
Yeah.
The first one, the same spot was like a blur. It was like a blur coming in. The second, the thing is right there. Whatever it is, it's right there. The third one, nothing. It's gone.
Yeah.
Now, these were all taken consecutively, and because I was using night vision, it took me a total of 2 minutes to get them all done because I had to leave my shutter open for a longer period of time. All I'm saying is if this is pareidolia, which by gosh, it could be, it could have looked like something else. It could have looked like a little white bunny, a mouse. It could have looked like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It could have looked like anything but what this looks like to me. It was just really weird. It was really weird.
Can you post that in our group and Barton's group too?
Yeah, I'll post it on all the groups. Yeah. I'll get that done tomorrow.
Like I said, if it's pareidolia, I'll accept that. I'll take it, but it could look like anything else but that.
Right.
Besides that, it's very strange. So we'll post that up tomorrow. And it looks like to me like it could be pareidolia, but then again, 3 consecutive pictures, 3 different things are happening all at the same spot.
Right.
You just take your own opinion and run with it. Let me know what you think.
Yep. There's no wrong answer,
No.
And it is the same spot that we was hearing all the noises behind us.
It was. And we were seeing the shadows. I will give you
you're right, Letitia. Right in the same spot.
The eye shine is what prompted me to get my phone out. Of course, we already talked about me throwing over my chair because I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and I'm trying to grab something, flashlight, anything to use. Finally got my phone out, and that's when those pictures happened. And in those 2 minutes, I took 3 pictures.
Yeah.
So
we Terry Mosby, our friend, asked, isn't there UFO activity out there? Have you guys heard about anything about that? Any
UFO activity all over Kentucky, Lyon County, Trigg County, Graves County. You can go to the MUFON website and just type in Kentucky, and you'll be amazed at how many UFOs are seen over the Bluegrass State. It's incomprehensible, really.
Right. So real quick too, couple things. When you were filming Martin doing his interview, I was watching it when you first put it out the other day, and at the 1710 mark, I seen like some lights disappear, and I called you because I'm like, is this stars, or am I seeing something or what? And at this point, I don't believe it was stars. So
no, it sounds like the first light that I saw, Krista, and it was low, and it was definitely below the horizon. The horizon was completely black, and it looked like it was over there by the cars or something where we parked.
Yeah.
The
second I saw was up high.
Yeah.
I was telling Krista today that I also seen something down where we had the table set up for the food. I'd seen a couple things down there, and I'm pretty sure that Martin also seen something down there. It looked like something was moving down there, but I never could tell exactly what it was. But
right. So real quick, guys, I got a question for you. So, there's a lot of people I've been reading on chat that, have stayed at the LBL and nothing happens. But then I'm reading where people have stayed at the LBL and they have things happen. Why do you guys believe that is? Like we had experiences, but yet some people can go there and nothing happens. What would you say would be the reason why, do you think?
I have no idea, Krista. If I could come up with a reasonable explanation, I would try to change it where something would happen while we were actually there. But like I say, that's the first time Letitia and I have ever been there where anything at all out of the ordinary has happened. And we walked those trails at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Like I say, we grilled steaks and fried bacon, just everything we could think of, trying to get some kind of activity, but nothing. And we're talking about, I've been going down there researching since about 2007, a little bit before that. And that's, a long time. And I understand why people say, well, I've been going down there for years and nothing's happened. Well, the same with me, but I don't discount all the dozens of people that have told me that they've gone down there and had crazy stuff happen. So,
yeah. Well, Ben Howard says, or it happens and they ignore it or explain it away. And that's true. True.
Very true.
Yeah. And Miss Dion says, depends on vibration of different people. I would agree with that too.
Yeah. Plus I had my singing bowl out there and putting a different vibration in the air. So I don't know. I don't know.
I haven't been there at all. I haven't been there one time at night when I didn't have some type of experience. And that's maybe, I think it does have to do with certain people for some reason. I don't know why that is, but
yeah,
I've always had something happen there in the night. In the daytime, I haven't, but I have at night.
Yeah.
So,
and it could be a possibility that Bart praying to God, and us not seeing any Inhumanoids since then, or him not having any encounters since then, may be the reason that we, when we're there alone, don't experience anything.
I believe 100% that's true. I believe 100% that's true. I know for a fact when you do that or rebuke them that it does help and it works. Worked for me one time. So
I totally wear my faith as a armor when I'm down there. I've never been scared at the LBL that I can recall. And like I told Johnny Henderson, I could lay down and go to sleep anywhere there, and y'all can come back and pick me up in the morning, I'll be fine. So I truly believe that my faith is what keeps me protected. But I would just like for one time to have one of those things come out.
Hey, real quick, Barton, did you grab your sword?
Yes, I did.
All right, you want to show it?
I don't know if y'all can see that or how much of it you can see.
Look at Letitia, let me back
She's
up.
like, oh no,
right. Well, that's just one of my swords. I've got another one that's. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, okay.
I've got another one that's even bigger than this one.
Hey, don't forget now, Bart, you had your spear with you too.
Right, got spears. I got a good buddy making me a bow. I've never really hunted with a bow or anything, but weapons of skill like that's kind of my forte. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to getting the bow.
Yeah. And another thing too, I want to, and I'll post all of this on Blondes and Booze tomorrow too, for people to go back and check the timestamps if they want to, go back and rewatch Barton's video with Martin telling his story. But I believe, what was it, Letitia, at the 44-minute mark?
44:10, I believe. 44 something.
Yeah. There is a voice. And like I said, I'll post the timestamps if y'all want to go back in and look and listen and comment on the video what you think it is. And because I'm curious, I at this point, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Brandy, did you go listen to it?
I didn't hear the voice, but I wasn't listening for it either. I'm just listening to the testimony. Because
it's almost like it answers Martin.
Right.
Talking.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
I will go back and watch that again, because like I said, there's so much going on, and we are looking for the orbs and the things moving in the background that I'm not hearing voices. But we were all there, but we were quiet. We were super, for as many people as we had, we were quiet.
Right.
I think the voice came from.
We don't want to plant no seeds, remember? So
Well,
let them
okay,
make their decision.
So it was filmed to make it look like it was just Martin and I sitting around the campfire, but there was really 8 other people there. So I think any kind of strange noise like that could probably be explained away by having 8 other people there. And even when you're not trying to make noise and trying to be quiet, you inadvertently something happens or something, your phone goes off or something like that. So I think it probably has a mundane explanation, that at least that does. Now the lights, I don't know. I can't explain that, but any
Right.
noises that I heard in that video, I think I could probably, or any skeptic could explain away by saying, well, there were 10 people in the group, and no one can be perfectly quiet. So
We was pretty quiet.
We were
pretty quiet.
Yeah.
We were. I got to say, we
You
were
guys
good.
You guys did great.
We were really good. For us, we were great.
Especially
Except for when I
because,
took off running through the leaves to get away from whatever was behind me.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's when I was waving you over, going, "Come
Yeah.
here."
Yeah. Yeah, because we
You know,
all
it
were
was like-
hearing it.
You can't see my face, but I'm like, "Come here, hurry,
Yeah.
come here."
Yeah.
I tried to get Gabby, and she was just not having it. She was just going to sit there. So
Well, she
Yeah.
didn't feel very good.
She
anyway.
didn't feel
was-
good,
she was
right?
sick.
Bless her heart, though. She was a trooper.
she was. Yep.
That
She
she
loved
was.
being out there.
Yeah, she was sick too.
Yeah.
It's difficult to be quiet completely anyway when
Sure.
you're around the type
Yeah.
activity, especially if you hadn't ever been around any of it.
Sure.
I'm not real fond of orbs anyway, so
Yeah.
I've had bad experiences with especially orange, red-colored orbs. But
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
Terry.
remember Josh Turner and I interviewed you for his Paranormal Roundtable podcast. You were telling us about that. It's crazy, crazy stuff happening with those orbs, and
Yeah. Terry said she's been a ghost hunter, ghost investigator, and it seems if a person brings a lot of crystals and things for protection, it cuts out spirit activity. And that's true,
It is true. It is true. I leave all mine in my car. My car is a spiritual warfare fortress.
Yeah.
So when I go to a location and I get back in my cars, nothing's getting in my car.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but do I take them with me? No, I do not. I do not have them on my person when I'm in a location because it does cut me off completely.
Yeah. So I guess we'll throw this out here. We have a question for Midwest Night Watchers. Are you guys planning a trip back? So I can tell you this right now. We are, and it will be February 25th. We are actually going to do a live show out there, and we will put that out there for everybody to where they can come and join us. And we're going to do it through StreamYard. We have Bigfoot Michigan. Rob's going to drive the show, and where you guys can actually see what we're witnessing. And we'll do that for a couple hours. The LBL is a big place, so no telling where we'll be at out there. But it's
No, but
yeah.
Letitia's going to take me to Hematite Lake.
I am going to take you.
Yeah.
And
So-
it could be something where we just split up.
Yeah.
Maybe split up into teams and hit a few of the areas.
Yeah.
That's
That
a
would be
great
nice.
idea. That's
Yeah.
a great idea because we sure can do that.
Yes.
Right. So anyway, that night, and we'll put more information out before then, but it's so whatever we see and hear, you guys will be able to see and hear. I think that'll be, kind of cool if we, if I get eat by a dogman, then you guys will be able to see it. So there
We'll
you
do
go.
a memorial.
we're not going to let that
I'll be
happen.
like, oh, Krista, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it was great video.
Right?
Right. There you go.
Don't worry, Krista. We won't let anything bother you.
Okay.
If you go down, we're going down with you. How's that?
That's right.
We all go down
Everybody goes.
together. Yeah.
But I mean, it just seems like
Didn't you
it would
say
be
you were
great
going away
to do
earlier?
something like this because we'll
Kristen
have
said you were going
people,
away.
and Letitia's got a great idea about having teams. I mean, that would be a great thing to do, and I mean, I think it'd be great. I'm like
Yeah.
what Jerry said.
Yeah.
Take one for the team.
I know,
Bart,
right?
Bart just reminded me that I said I was running. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm going to be
Right.
tripping people is what I'm going to be doing.
You're gonna
So
make
if
sure you're not
anybody has,
last, right?
Right.
so yeah, everybody needs to put out there what your best tea or tick spray is, because I'm gonna have to buy all of them.
Yeah.
You're talking about the tick spray?
So
Yeah,
Help
put
and
your best
Holler
tick
has some.
spray out there. I'm buying all of them.
Yeah.
Help and Holler will help you out with that. They sent me what they use, so
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have
we're gonna
that for
try
sure.
that.
Well, maybe
We-
maybe we can get Joe and Jesse to come this time.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
that'd
be great. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
such good people. You know, Letitia and I
Yeah, they
really
are.
think the world of both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good people.
we'll have to name it something crazy like Expedition Tick or something, or something crazy.
Expedition tick.
Woo.
Yeah.
They're bad.
Nothing like coming home and pulling 400 or 500 ticks off of you.
Right?
In
Crazy.
January too. So
Right.
it is
I
what it
cannot
is.
believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the LBL has ticks in January, so
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first for me.
no one,
Yeah.
no other place in the country has ticks in January, but the LBL.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Gotta say.
Yeah.
It was.
Mine says peppermint oil for ticks. I've never
I
tried
can put that on my
peppermint oil.
skin, so that'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I use peppermint oil around my swimming pool, around our swimming pool, and it keeps the mosquitoes away. So
Yeah.
it's possible. I
Yeah.
will try it. I'll try anything. I'll never come home with 500 ticks on me ever again.
Yeah.
Ever. It's just not going to happen. I will stay around the campfire. I will be the campfire master.
Did you see what Penny Van said? She says,
It took
Brandy,
me a while. It took me a while to pick all those ticks off of her.
Yeah.
look what Penny Van said.
She said,
Drive
Brandy,
to lo-
drive to location, apply all tick repellent, and then do not get out of the car.
Right.
Amen.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, Glenn says ticks in January are scarier than Dogman, and isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Hey, Bart, I guess Bart and I have to take a bath in it because I think we're the only ones that had them all over us. But
Right.
Yeah.
they attract us for some reason because I had them all over my legs myself. So
I wonder if Mark and Matt had
quite a
any
few.
fun with that. They went up there to gather wood in the same spot that we did up over the hill. You know where all the
Yeah.
stuff was coming down
Right.
and
Yeah.
from, and I don't know if they had ticks on them or not.
Hmm.
I hate ticks,
didn't.
Lord
I
have
did
mercy,
too.
I hate them.
I did not have a tick. Thank goodness.
I did not either, as far as I know. But I was around the fire most of the night, so I don't think they like smoke.
Yeah. Cryptidville says, I nominate Daryl to wear the beacon bikini. LOL.
Bacon
Or
bikini. Yeah.
bacon bikini.
I'll tell you what, I look really good in a beacon bikini, so I will definitely do it.
Yeah. That's funny.
You provide it, and I'll wear it
Yeah.
for about 1 minute, then I'm changing.
Right?
Yeah.
Now the question is it cooked bacon or raw?
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny.
Would you like that crispy? I don't know. Anyway.
Angela, she says, I'm delicious. Everything bites me. I'm
Yeah.
about with you. Yeah, I usually get the ticks and the mosquito bites.
Yep, they like me too, so.
Right.
Except
Right.
I didn't get any, so hey, I'm fortunate.
As far as I know, I didn't either. I
Yeah.
I don't think I did.
Yeah.
Good.
Right. I think you actually have to walk in the brush to get ticks.
Hey,
Yeah,
now
you
I
have
did
to-
pick up
You
twigs.
have to
I
get out
did.
in
You have
the
to get out in
leaves
the brush,
like
yeah.
Bart and I did.
I was
We
Get
did
your-
though. That's the thing. We did when we got there. We were getting the little starter
Yeah.
thing for the fire.
well
so
actually we
Oh,
were
yeah.
walking in the
Yeah, we
lake.
can-
yeah.
And
What's
we
up?
were in the lake. Yeah.
We went down to the lake. We were walking in the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the night that we was with Cryptid Studies with Johnny and Elijah, we were walking in a creek, just a dirt bottom creek, and I was covered, dirt bottom and rock bottom creek. And I had 200 or 300 on me that night, and Elijah and Gabby had some on them. I don't know, did you get any that night? But that was just in a dry bottom, rock bottom creek.
Mhm.
So there was no leaves, no grass. So they're
Yeah.
just everywhere. It's infested.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. So anyway, but we'll post more information about that and the live show and all that good stuff. And it'll still be through our channels. And everybody be able to watch it. And Bigfoot Michigan Rob is going to drive that show for us. So it'll be fun.
Well, why don't we talk about this thing we got coming up in March that we're stealing Letitia and taking her to?
Yes, we'll start with that. Let me pull that banner up. Let me pull it up here. We can do, let's see here. I've got it here somewhere.
Bart, you just have to hang out. You have to hang out with me, buddy, because we're not going on the ghost hunt.
Yeah, it'd be a pleasure as long as I don't have to mess with any ghosts, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Me and you'll hang together somewhere that weekend. Let them go.
Right, sounds good.
I'm out on the ghost. No ghost for
Me
me.
too.
Brandy, you want to talk about it?
So anyway, this is Pot of Grass for Pooches. It is Tim Miley. He raises money for humane societies and rescues all over the United States. Everywhere he holds an event, all that money is donated to his local rescue or animal shelter. This one is located in Ann Arbor, Michigan on March 4th. So anybody in Michigan or, the nearby areas, come check it out. We're Blondes and Booze is going to be there, and we're bringing Letitia. So she gets to sit and chat with us and everybody else all day long.
And also, BMR, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, is also gonna come hang with us too.
And Bart said that's fine, but I better not bring them home with me.
We're not ghost hunting.
We're not ghost hunting.
I said we're not ghost hunting.
We're not
Isn't
ghost
that fun?
hunting. It's literally just
sit
a
in a
convention.
hotel and not ghost hunt.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's okay with it then.
Okay.
we're really not ghost hunting. We are literally, it's a convention. And
we're just going to go talk about them. That's all.
Right. Right. Exactly. And then in July, we have this going on. That's, what's the date? I think it's July 12th. That's Malvern Manor.
July 8th.
I don't know. It's in July. We'll get the date out there. But we are going to do an overnight ghost hunt at Malvern Manor with Josh Hurd. Tex is going to come up. Terry Mosby, our friend you've seen in chat tonight, she's going to be there with us, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun night. So it'll be an all-nighter, and
at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m., we're not sure what time we're going to start, but we're going to do a witching hour ghost hunt. So we're going to have Tex and everybody come with us, and we're going to do kind of like the same thing. We're going to do this on StreamYard. Everybody's going to go separate ways, and we're going to go see what we can find. So this ought to be fun for all our late night viewers.
Yep. It'd be a good time. And then, like I said, Josh Hurd, he usually, it's his building and teams rent it and he leaves, and Josh isn't leaving. He's gonna ghost hunt with us that night. So if you don't know who he is, he's a good guy, and he's part of Nick Groff's G crew. And they got a good thing going, and he does good things up there. So
anybody close to Malvern Manor or Malvern, Iowa, hey, come see us. We've got tickets will be available here shortly. We're just working on our Eventbrite right now. So as soon as we get that set up and ready to go, we're going to start selling tickets, and we'll have them available. So keep your eyes out for that.
Yeah. Yep. It's going to be a fun time. So we'll have tickets out, say the next month or so, Brandy?
Yeah. Yep. We have to get everything connected. Yeah. This is going to be our first event for Blondes and Booze. So we're getting everything all set up and squared away so we can do that.
Yep, and I'm pulling up my calendar now, and I can say the exact date. It is July 8th.
It is July 8th.
It is July 8th. And then also, let me go to this date, August 12th of this year, we are hooking up with Haunted Souls Paranormal out of St. Louis, and we are doing an overnight at the Ray County Museum in Richmond, Missouri.
Yeah, which is always a good time. So if you're around there, come see us.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sounds like a good time, don't it, Daryl?
Sounds good, Bart. Me and you'll be out. Me and you'll have the fishing poles out that.
Right. Let's go catch some crappie.
That's right. That's what we'll be. Y'all are ghosting. We're fishing.
Right. Right. I just want to say one more thing too out there to the viewers. I've seen people talk about about killing these creatures. And you know what? And I think I can say for everybody up here on this panel, we don't believe in killing them. However, at the LBL, they're not normal ones, and they've killed children, and those kind have to go in my book.
Right, mine too, Krista.
Yeah.
I'm
so
sorry if I offended anybody by my intentions, but
I just
promise
wanted to
you this, there's
clarify
nothing
that.
anybody can say that would change my mind. I know what
I agree
I
100%.
need to do.
Yeah. And so it's not like we're out there trying to, just kill a bunch of Bigfoot, because that's not what we're doing. It's, it's the bad ones out there at LBL that are being covered up. And those are the ones that need to be eliminated.
Right.
That,
I don't
those are the
Bigfoot.
ones
I
that
don't
are
think
killing these people, and all these people go missing from that park. Those are the ones that need to go. So I just wanted to clarify that none of us are about just going out and murdering, these
No, absolutely not.
stuff. So
I don't
anyway,
even hunt anymore because I can afford to buy my food. But when I was younger, I hunted to feed the family. So I don't believe in killing anything that doesn't deserve to be killed.
right. Exactly. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. And tomorrow night we have Scott Pace, and we're going to talk about mind speaking with Bigfoot. So that should be fun. And my voice is leaving me. I don't know why. It's not like I've talked all day today
You
or
better
nothing.
drink some hot tea or something. You're
Yeah,
gonna need
right.
it for tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So we do appreciate everybody. Daryl, Letitia, Barton, hang on. Don't hang up when we end the broadcast here. So, all right. Good night, everybody. And
Good night, everybody.
All right.
Thanks for
Good
watching.
night. Thanks
Good
for
night.
watching.